everyone, it's front row Phyllis. When Mars and Venus collide, the adventures can be earth-shatteringly hysterical. I'm talking about Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. The lighthearted theatrical comedy comes to life at the Broadway Playhouse for just a limited engagement, February 14th through the 19th, and we are thrilled to have joining us Amadeo Fusco. Welcome and thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me, Phyllis.
This is awesome. So, okay, let's dive right in. What can the viewers expect from the show?
Just a whole lot of comedy. The
Okay.
show is just, it's based off theories of the book, but it's a solo show. I'm the only performer. I play all kinds of characters in the show, and really, I'm just there to kind of make everybody laugh and just have a great time. And a lot of the comedy comes from just what a Martian brain does in a relationship, what a Venusian brain does in a relationship, and kind of just blowing that out of the water and really animating it.
Wow. Is it hard to do a one-man show? It's gotta be.
Yeah, yeah. Between the hours of 7 p.m. and 10 p.m., I'm just chugging coffee. So just trying to stay as energetic as possible. Because
Right.
I really pride myself on the physical aspects of the show. Really just animating it and bringing it to life. But at first, it was a challenge. I had to learn like 30 pages front and back. And when I worked with director Mindy Cooper, we went through and kind of edited it. I get to kind of rewrite the show and freshen up the material and deliver it in a way that really speaks true to me. Later, it's still a challenge because every city's different, every venue's different. I'm always getting new ideas, and you just got to make sure you stay on top of your game that night and just have the energy. But that usually comes pretty quick. As soon as I step on stage and feel the crowd, I'm ready to go.
That's what I was gonna say. Each crowd has got to be, and every night has to be so different. I mean, what's it like to get out in front of the crowd and there's really not a lot of energy coming from the crowd? Is it hard?
Yes, so I wouldn't say it's hard. At first, it might have been hard, but now, a couple hundred shows later,
Right.
it's almost I've almost kind of figured it out. I don't want to say I've always figured it out, but sometimes you just got to go. There's a lot of leeway in the show for me to go into the audience and pull out reactions and just react off of what they're reacting. And you just have to do that a little bit more. You just have to get a little bit more intimate. With a bigger audience that's lively right away, it could be a little bit more broad. But when it's a smaller audience or the energy's smaller, you have to really just talk to people like right in their face, or maybe just pull something out. You got to like find a way to win them back and ride that energy wave. One of the tricks I do in every show is every city I go to, I have so many parts of the show where it's insert local flavor here.
Yeah.
So whether it's the sports team, whether it's a landmark, whether it's how much they paid for parking, whether it's just their favorite food or sandwich in that town, if you just kind of insert that in the middle of the show out of nowhere, they'll be like, "Oh my God, how did he know that?" And
Right.
usually gets a big reaction. And you can ride that energy wave if it's a smaller audience.
In the show, you cover everything from dating to marriage,
Mhm.
the bedroom. So tell us about that. Tell
Well,
us a little
it
bit
is.
about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, how much time do you have?
Yeah,
It's
well, we got about 30 minutes.
it's advertised as a date night show, and it truly is one of the best date night shows you can come to. A lot of couples that come to the show just really, I don't want to say learn so much about each other. They know these things about each other, but it's like a reminder and a refresher and permission to laugh at one another for these behaviors in a relationship. And like I said, I'm there just kind of blowing it out of the water and animating it, and I'm just there to be like a funny clown for 2 hours. I just want you to enjoy your night. I'm not trying to change the world, but maybe change your perspective on how silly we can be within these relationships, or just if you're going to be in a relationship soon, or whatever type of relationship you're in. So it's really going through like these vignettes and stories of, yeah, what we do in the bedroom, the weird things on how the guy always repeats the same move all the time, and the woman's just like, "Oh my God, give me a break, can't you learn anything new? Oh my God, this is so much fun, yeah," whatever. It's just stuff like that. Or doing chores around the house to where you just want to sit down and chill, and she sits down and chills with you, and then 12 seconds later she has to start cleaning everything or knitting or doing whatever it is, like the multitasking, like she can't just focus and stay still on one thing. So it's just stuff like that, but I act
Right.
it out, and I really help. Not that I really help, but the show really helps I think at the end of the day, just bring people together closer on this date night that they've come to. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun to watch that and talk to people after and just see how much they're really enjoying their time out.
Are men really from Mars and women really from Venus? Or maybe we just process a little different. What do you think?
I mean, it's funny, this Mars Venus kind of thing. And I try to say, 'cause I try to keep it open to all relationships, right? It's whatever, whoever the Martian brain might be in your relationship, whoever the
Right.
Venusian brain might be in your relationship. A lot of the times it gets the male female connotation, but it could switch. Or if it's a same sex couple, you never know who maybe takes on that role. Who's more the Martian? Who's more the Venusian? But yeah, I mean, we're definitely from different places. I mean, we're from the same place, but at the end of the day, we're from like two opposite ends of the spectrum of the same place. And it's funny how consistent a lot of this stuff is. And just because we all know it, but then when people come to the shows too, it's just so obvious that they're like, oh my God, he always does that, or she always does that, or blah 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 blah. And it's stereotypical sometimes, but unfortunately it is kind of this fun truth that we live in.
Right. It's got to be hard being in a relationship for you, and doing this, because there's got to be a lot of expectations they have.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I feel like I'm, not to jinx myself, but I feel like I'm at a place where I'm okay. I'm doing pretty well. Obviously,
Yeah.
we always, there's just something inside of us that has to screw things up real quick. And I even say in the show, it's like I know what to do, and still my brain sometimes just doesn't do it. So why? Where does this wall or defense mechanism come that I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing that today, even though I know I should. It's just I don't want to say it's self-destructive, but even though we know the answer, we still sometimes don't do it because of laziness, because we just simply forget, or just sometimes out of like
Right.
stubbornness. So,
Right. Exactly. Well, this is amazing. We are so excited for opening night.
thank
Thank
you.
you again. And guys, I have the perfect date night with your significant other, perfect for Valentine's Day. I'm talking about Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and playing February 14th through the 19th at the Broadway Playhouse.
In 1992, a new book hit the world like an asteroid of understanding. It promised clearer communication, lasting love, and kissy face happiness. It was also a big fat success. More than 50 million copies sold in 50 languages around the world. John Gray was playing our song. But did we really listen?
I'm going to give you a great quote right now I want you to take home with you. All right, this one lets your man know he's doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Less nagging, more shagging. I approve this message. Less nagging, more shagging. Because let me tell you guys something. When Sarah and I are doing it right, we're right across from each other, and we're ripping off our clothes, and I'm just like, what do you want me to do to you, baby? And she's just like, oh, whatever. It's a very different kind of whatever. The show is based off the best-selling book by Dr. John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And it's basically a manual for men and women, to be able to understand the differences between each other, because we're coming from two different planets. We're coming from Mars and we're coming from Venus. But the whole show is like a nice little package for how people can just learn to relate to each other and really love each other and communicate better, And hopefully at the end of the show, people go home and they, I'm going to give you guys the formula right now, okay? Here is the formula. The woman makes love to the man. This, in turn, makes the man love the woman even more. This, in turn, makes the woman love the man even more. This, in turn, makes the woman want to give the man more love. This is the true circle of life. Lion King. Mars Venus Live is a one-man show discussing marriage, love, communication, lust, laundry, but told from both sides of the bed.
The show was just like my wife, just wonderful. And
I have to say, this was a fantastic program tonight. I laughed, I cried, I was emotional. It was a fun-filled night. I highly recommend it.